Right then, welcome in guys, welcome to the US session. Let's dive straight in, shall we? A little bit of a pullback, obviously, kind of to be expected, to be honest, at the minute. Let's see what we get bid-wise, and we'll have a look at that together now. Just drawing up the standard 1 hour chart first of all. Okay, so just want to have a look at a 1 hour chart just for some raw perspective on levels. To be honest, I want to have a look at some levels, where we've come from, where are we going. Okay, and then we'll jump into some order flow data. We'll have a quick look at what the open interest is doing, as it is ramping up a little bit here. So mentioned to the guys in the socials chat earlier that we might get a little bit of choppiness here. All right, so but yeah, welcoming everybody. If you're coming from Discord or Telegram, just drop in the YouTube chat. If you're unfamiliar with the console that we're looking at right now, it's the TRDR Console. Go grab a link from below and get a free trial for the best data out there in the crypto market. You won't regret it. So yeah, welcome in. I just hope everyone's having a good week and enjoying the week. It's a pretty nice move this up, I would say, from our risk on lows back there in the 56, 57k zone. Obviously a very boring weekend sitting at the monthly open, but we did catch a little bit more bid there. Okay, socials are very quiet at the minute, I think, to be honest. Twitter feed is a bit of a mixed bag. A lot of bearish sentiment from the lows, I think, and a lot of bearish sentiment in here I was feeling. So I don't know really. What do you guys think? Drop us a comment. Thoughts on this move up? I quite like it. To be honest, I think we've been ranging on this 4 hour chart for a while. We were flirting with the beginnings of a higher time frame downtrend, weren't we, to be honest? Let's just go and have a look at this now. If you're unfamiliar with this chart, I can drop a link for it. This is just a little bit of an exchange overview. Order book depth here, volume here, funding and open interest. So I do like to look at this on what some of you guys may consider a slightly higher time frame, 1 hour, 4 hour and the like, just to see what's going on with the big boy exchanges. But yeah, let us know if anyone needs this template. I am enjoying it very much so. Quite enjoyed seeing the Coinbase Pro slippage going on here yesterday. That was interesting to see. Either poor execution from someone, or was it on purpose to fill some bid? I'm kind of in favour of that, because if you were watching the order flow at that time, there was quite a few bids coming in on this as well, so it's almost like pushing down to fill those bids. Anyway, let's move on. So, quick look at the 4 hour, where we are then, ladies and gents, if you can all just see that. Range, basically, daily, weekly time frame still trending, let's just call it what it is. But this 4 hour time frame was obviously 1, 2, 3, was flirting. I think we've broke the back of it now. Was flirting with the beginnings of a downtrend. But if you are a data and order flow lover, like all of us guys in here, what you see every time we were getting these drops, whether it be this one or even the lower low here on the 4 hour, what we were seeing was massive order book depth. Okay, and that's what we want to see in a macro trending market. Okay, if we were coming down to these lows and there was no bid depth coming in, okay, no, none of the spot exchanges were bothered about bidding this, they weren't bothered about bidding this at the monthly open, then we would be worried. We would be saying, oh shit, okay, so spot have sold up here and then they've sold here and they don't want to bid back in. We would be more worried. But watching the order flow day by day, week by week, yep, we were seeing massive bid depth come in these zones. So as a range trader, or if you're just keen on seeing the trend continuation from a weekly and daily point of view. It was always good to see this, okay? Some really good order flow from the charts here. So yeah, this zone, couple of nice classic TA areas, and the weekly 21 as well back there. So, you know, if you're an old school bull runner, might start using that term actually, bull runner, gumball run, bull runner. Does that sound right? I'm going to use it anyway. If you're an old school bull runner, the weekly 21 was always a nice point to start hedging and risking back in the market, I would say. Okay, guys. So yeah, here we are. Okay, if you're a level nerd like myself, monthly point of control just up here. Sorry, previous month. Monthly naked point of control up here. Monthly POC was back here, but will now obviously move up with the order flow. And I think, to be honest with you, I think I'm expecting a little bit of chop here. 66, say, call it 66,200 at the minute. I mean, we've dropped $50 in the last hour, so it's really not much. I don't think I'll go check that again in a second. But I don't think you're going to get much chance of a big dip, I would say. I think the open interest will just kill overextended leverage longs, and then we'll just get the, and I think you want to start flipping these areas now. That's what I said at the beginning of the week in the video, and I said to the guys in the socials, you want to start killing some of these zones now and flipping them into support. And I think this, you don't even need to know it's a monthly area up here, but it's quite an obvious little zone, isn't it? This 66 level, you need to start flipping this, and I think we'll gun for the value area high of this range. So with that being said, let's drop to some lower time frames, and let's check some order flow. Let me just drop to the 15-minute, okay? So yeah, where have we come from? So this was our weekend price action that unfortunately was very boring. Obviously, I hope everyone didn't get chopped up in here. Thing to be noted, while we were in here, okay, if you're unfamiliar with the order book and the aggregated depth and the like, we were still hitting between 800, 900 million aggregated book depth, bid book depth, okay, over the weekend in boring price action. You do not want to be chasing shorts in, expectations of a lower price when you've got boring price action and you've got aggregated depth here. So it was a bit of a funny one because I mentioned to the guys earlier in the week as well, I wasn't seeing much edge in volume. Normally when you get boring price action, you can kind of see a big ramp up in volume, but that wasn't to be seen, to be honest. BTC Diamond again there, then you chopped a lot. But yeah, nice level to hold. We came up, we hit some local selling there, rotated back down. This was, if you're unfamiliar with this zone, this was just when Fed Powell was giving some comments in the market. Yo, Ali, how are you doing? Panic, where is says monthly POC that month is referring to? That is not May. I would have to go and double check. I can't remember. Let me go and check for you just mega quickly. But yeah, that local selling was basically when Fed Powell was giving his chat. Monthly NPOC is actually from Feb. Yeah, it's from Feb. Not mark that up there, but yeah, actually from Feb, just for reference there. So yeah, came up, hit some local selling. This is where Coinbase Pro got a little bit aggressive, and I think they were trying to fill some bid. Look at this cheeky person trying to fill some bid, and they actually did on that one there, on that wick there. So everyone was saying about that volatility on the Coinbase Pro, which we saw in here as well. Okay, so that all that volume was from Coinbase Pro, and you see this big wick here. I mean, price action actually came back down anyway, but you see this big wick here, big volume from Coinbase Pro, and yeah, a little bit rare from Coinbase Pro. I think they're normally a little bit more subdued to their price action. It's the sort of thing I would expect to see on. Is it Kraken? Is it Kraken that normally gives massive wicks? Yeah, same thing. That 4 hour monthly NPOC. Yeah, it's from Feb. Let me just quickly go back to that for you. Spot market. There you go. It's just above 66,960. Looks like we've just wicked onto it slightly here, but yeah, it's from back in Feb. It'll be from this price action back here. You see how volatile this price action was back here. Did we kick up? Yeah, end of Feb. It was right at the end of February. So you're talking... Yeah, it's a funny one really, isn't it? 29th of Feb was there. But yeah, I'm sure it's a February one. Yeah, I'm sure it's Feb. It was coming up as Feb. Anyway, let's move on. I won't bore everyone too much. Where were we? Yeah, quick bit of selling in here. And then obviously came down. A little bit of boringness here. But the only thing what you were starting to see from here in this zone was that, like mentioned in plenty of other videos, go and check the Mark Douglas video that's on my channel. Basically, we started to see the bid follow up on price, okay? So everyone's kind of thinking, shit, it's not coming down to our level. We're not getting our 55s, 56s. And you see that you get this laddering up of bid as people say, okay, do we need to start moving the bid up? And then what do you get at the same time? The offers start to gradually move up. So yeah, there was a big offer here. I think that probably got filled. Nothing wrong with that. And there was some quite heavy selling, but I think funding was still pretty chilled and stuff in this zone, so nothing to see really. And then, you know, as we then come back to this area, the offers just start to slide up, and that's really what you want to see. You want to see the bid follow price, so dynamic bid follow price, and the offers move up, because people wanting to sell for whatever reason, maybe they just want to get out of the market or whatever, or take partial profits on spot or perpetuals. You want your best offer, don't you? You know, so they start to move offers up. Nice to see also, similar. We've had some quite aggressive selling in here, but nice to see also that the perps market was back. Okay, so they kind of lost interest around here, and that's a nice. It's kind of good to see this, and we talked about this last week. The way you see the levels fall down. So again, the opposite. You've got offers coming down, and then you've got bid flowing down as people try and catch a lower bid. And then it's nice to see this again. Okay, so this is indicative of a trending market. Okay, it's what you want to see. And we want to see this continue. We want to see these ratios continue to try and catch a bid from the perps guys. Levels there, 64, pulled. Okay, so I mentioned that yesterday as well. Obviously said, I think spot as well. So spot pulled their 64k orders, and perps were pulling the 64k orders as well. Okay, so a little bit here. But these kind of offers down here, they weren't really aggressive. They weren't really kind of like trying to sit on top of price and say, right, no, this is it. You ain't going any further. You know, they were kind of dropping offers in. They were getting pulled. I won't call it spoofing as such. But yeah, messy. We came up, and I just want to explain one little thing that I got asked a question on yesterday before we look at a little bit more data, and that's just with regards to the selling that we got here. And you can see the circles here. So we got our TRDR BTC diamonds here, you know, okay? What we sometimes can term those as is a little bit reactionary in a violent move up, okay? So sometimes when you've been sat in this lower range price action, that's what we were in. Okay, you're in the lows of a larger time frame range. You then start to really kind of volley price up, and really you kind of don't want to be the first guy in front of that initial push in front of this price action, you know. So yeah, if the sellers hammered this zone and we came back down and chopped a little bit, maybe put in a higher high with some bear divs, and then they were still selling into this area, you would kind of say to yourself, oh, right, that's kind of it then, you know, maybe we're not going to go any higher. But when we were hitting these sells here, funding was still negative, like quite negative as well, you know, especially on Bybit, the degens on Bybit. Funding was negative, and open interest was still coming up nicely at this point with volume Okay, so open interest, volume coming up, new contracts opening. Yeah, there was probably a lot of closures around here as well. Market selling in and out, positions closing. But everything still looks nice. And what I mentioned to one of the guys with, can't remember if it's Telegram or Discord, was no one was aggressively trying to cap price and attack price with like big order blocks and say, no, we want out the market, we're taking profit here, no further. This looked aggressive, but look at the structure, the way it's kind of floating up, isn't it? And you see the same in spot here, So we did hit 2 sells there, but they were kind of like the offers were a little bit shaky, to be honest. They were a little bit shaky. I don't want to be the first guy. For me, I don't want to be the first seller here. Just watch price action a bit. Give yourself 15, 20 minutes and then see what you get, Always better to do. Discord, all right, yeah. Yeah, just wanted to, because what you'll sometimes see is, the data we get is obviously the best. It just is. And more often than not, and I will say this, and a lot of the other OGs in TRDR would probably agree with me, us guys can be a little bit early in here because it's like the Matrix, isn't it? We're foreseeing what is going to happen almost, But sometimes, if you're a little bit newer, you'll see these diamonds and you'll go, right, that's it, I'm shorting. Well, it's not always the case, especially after you've come from these range lows and you're having this mega push up, okay? Sometimes it can be the case, but it's like to the downside. It's both the same, really you want to see aggressive selling. You want all the recipe to bake the cake, really, You want to be at range highs, okay? You want to be at range highs. You want positive funding. You want mega high open interest right here, right now. Sentiment, let's have a bit of FOMO, and really aggressive top levels hammering down, which isn't the case. You've come from range lows. It's your first initial push up in a long time, a good push up as well, on negative funding, low open interest that's rising with volumes and new, a lot of fat new contracts opening, okay? And then just to highlight before we move on, because I'm waffling on here, and I'll just invert this quickly, but yeah, to the downside as well. You imagine these are bullish long signals, and I've just reversed this, obviously. Look at the way the top levels are kind of moving down with price. People are trying to get a bit of a best offer a little bit lower. Obviously, just inverted this. And what you will see is, if we're coming down and you want to catch a bid, well, you want negative funding, low open interest, obviously, and bullish divs. And, that's just, on this side, we just didn't have the full recipe, I would say. It was a very aggressive move up. It's like watching, I don't know if I'll be able to find one actually, it's like watching if you've been at the highs and you first get that initial crackdown in price action and you hit a BTC bid diamond, for instance, well, that can be some people coming out the market or whatever. Sometimes it can just be a little bit early, just try and build that recipe of confluence. And I don't think you have to be early on these things, to be honest, especially on Bitcoin. For me personally, I think Bitcoin is quite easy at the minute. I think it's kind of in easy mode. Your alts are a little bit more aggressive movers, some of them. So when you are looking for entries, if you're trying to short this, make sure you've got bear divs, make sure everybody's shorting it, just make sure you're in total supply, make sure you've got bear divergences on volume, make sure you've got positive funding, the full recipe. Anyway, I'm waffling on high. Yo, milk is in. Sideline money went wild over the chance of rate cuts. It was just the news related more than confidence build up for this move. Yeah. I mean, you've got to, when you're at the range lows, we will move on in a second. You've got to take that. You've got to take that chance. I was saying it to the guys. We did a Discord screen share on Tuesday. And if you're purely into range trading, you know, you're not a spot kind of trend trader, if you just really love trading ranges, those guys that love trading ranges will always bid the lows, hedge, they maybe hedge a position at the POC, the middle of the range, and then they'll maybe take profit partial or fully at the top and try and hedge a short position at the top of the range. And in doing that, those guys know that at some point they are going to get stopped out on one of those trades as you get that break of the range and you get trend continuation, you know, or break, you know, continuation up or break and continuation down. That is just going to happen. You just need to accept that. So you're always going to bid these. You're always going to bid these range lows. This was a big kind of deviation in our range, I would say, you know. But range traders are always going to bid that with the knowledge that we don't fucking, excuse my language, we don't know what's going to happen. This might go lower. Maybe we get this 55, 54. But I'm kind of seeing this is looking a little bit cheeky here. So we're at the lows of the range. I'm going to take it, you know. Right. I've been waffling on for ages. How far are we in? Do I need to close the stream yet? 20 minutes, that's all right. Look at my clock and we're an hour in or something. It doesn't matter, we can go longer if needed. Anyway, I'm waffling out. Right, let's look at some other data. Let's look at some exchanges. Open interest is high. What I do like to see here, I do like to see this already. This is what you want to see. And this isn't, you know, you're not talking about a billion aggregated depth, but bid depth's coming back in slightly. And it is, I'll tell you now, this is mainly getting fed by perps. So let's go and look at them in a second. Right, let's run through some exchanges. So Bitfinex, we're protecting this week's price action. Nice to see it from the Bitfinex USD guys. The OGs were happy. They were happy with this level, and they were happy at the beginning of the week if we went down a tiny bit lower. Okay, good to see it from the OGs at Bitfinex. Bitstamp have been absolutely scamming the market. Look at this. So I said this, I can't remember if I said it in the video or whatever. I'm not going to larp on about it, but yeah, Bitstamp. If this was at many exchanges, I would have taken this supply a lot more serious. But saying to everyone and the guys that, look, they can soon pull this, and then what did they do? They absolutely flip-flopped and went, oh shit, we best bid this. So I don't know if that's a bit of market making or one entity who's really poorly executing the trades or what. But yeah, interesting from Bitstamp. But yeah, Bitstamp with a level at 68k. Do I care? No, not really. Not unless some of the other exchanges get involved there as well. Okay. Not Bitstack. So what for Coinbase got? So Coinbase 70k, and I think that'll be a good. Although it looks quite far away, look at where we've just come from. Okay, so I think 70k will be quite a nice area to go and attack in the coming days. I really do. Yo, Cuckoo, how are you doing? So yeah, I do. I think, and I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't think. Because everyone was so bearish, I do think I felt that sentiment. I don't know if you guys did. I don't know. After a nice powerful move, do we really let them in here? I wouldn't. I wouldn't let them in here. I'd just run this up and just go. We can look at funding again in a second if needs be. Right, Kraken following up with bid. It's exactly what you want to see, okay? So I'm not sure Kraken USD do a whole great deal of volume to push the market, but it's nice to see from those guys, okay? So Kraken following up with bid. Again, same as Bitfinex, they were quite happy in this area. They were quite happy to follow up with this bid. Interestingly enough, and I have still been watching them, Qcoin has been a bit of a dead market. Now, I don't know if that's because they're really, really clever, and they did bid the 56, 57k level. I know that because we looked at it the other week. And maybe the spot guys at Qcoin are just very happy and they want to see 70k as well. Okay, so not a big order, but they've got 70k there, all right? In terms of sentiment, it does feel like the burden of proof is shifting towards bears. First time since April 12. Bulls are growing balls, but the next pivot is key. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not a macro expert. There's better guys out there for it, but you've just had the halving. ETFs, I'm sure that volume will come back. I don't think your Wall Street finance bros are gonna sling these ETFs out and let their salespeople sell these amazing Bitcoin ETFs that have done well for months, only to then let them fail and price sink and everything. I mean, those ETFs still aren't doing any kind of volume that some of the central exchanges are doing. So I'm still concentrating on the central exchanges for me personally. Binance will do, over $1 billion in a day, more, 2-3 billion, and I've not even looked at market orders, to be honest. So ETFs very, very important. I'm sure they're not going to let it fail, and I just think there's some good stuff going on. I won't comment on US macroeconomy or anything like that because I'm not an expert. But yeah, I think in a presidential election year, do you let things go to shit? No. Whoever you vote, do you let things go to shit? No, probably not. Yeah, just a few things. And like I said on Tuesday in the video, I've got a little bit of a feeling we don't get a summer off as well. I've got a bit of a feeling we might be quite active. So something to bear in mind. Binance perps following up with bid as well. Okay, so even if you did get some violence down, which I'm not in favour of, I think we just run it. Thank you very much. But they are following up with bid as well. So yeah, if you guys are risk on from lower, this is basically exactly what you want to see. Okay, you want to see these people now coming in with this dynamic bid because they've missed out. They've missed out. 67,300 daily close. Where are we now? 66. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to have a little bit of a slow day today because that can obviously be seen after violent moves, can't it? You'll more often than not get a little bit of a slow day, and even if it's just a little bit of a slow US session, maybe. Yeah, and markets evolving. Yeah, and didn't one of the big, was it Chicago or someone, what's the big futures exchange? Actually, no, did I read it was Spot? They're going to allow spot Bitcoin trading. Is it CME piece? Is it CME? Is it spot listings? Wow, yeah, so that's, and anything spot, more the better. So I think we're still in for a good year, I mean, tell me what you guys think, but I still think we're in for a good year. Yeah, I do. Right, anything else we need to look at? Let's look at volume quickly. So you've got a bit of volume coming off here. I'm not too concerned really at all. And as I say, open interest was a little high. Funding is okay. It's a little bit chilled. It will come up a little bit now, obviously, as more contracts enter the market, trying to FOMO a little bit, should I say that? But yeah, volume coming down a little bit, just to be expected. You've had this profit taking, whether that be partial or full from some of the derivatives guys. 1 hour volume. Yes, it's just a nice slow creep up, and then it's basically yesterday what I was looking at is just this. You had that kind of low open interest, and then what you want to see is you want to see the volume come up nicely, nice steady flowing volume, and then you want to see that open interest come up as the newer contracts open and flood the market, pushing price further. And it just looks like a lot of people, they got caught off guard, they got caught off guard, and you could tell that in funding anyway, couldn't you? Let's look at liquidity. So liquidity got a massive rise, same as funding, open interest obviously, as a lot of contracts open up at the top here. But it's still not mega extreme. If you get a little bit of violence one way or the other, this liquidity, which obviously on perps we're looking at now, just dictates the amount of contracts in the market, not direction really. Although when it's high, we do consider it to be a little bit frothy. 4 hour is generally better. Okay, so we consider 4 hour highs to be a little bit frothy, as you can see up here in these highs and stuff. So, but bit middle of the range. And now what you need to obviously consider as well is, I just wanted to highlight this very, very quickly, is if you're familiar with this template, which is Liquidity King, which I did change slightly, just with liquidations at the bottom. New parameters, because I haven't highlighted this in a while. So your highs of the liquidity, and I'm mainly looking at perps at the minute, over 2 billion, okay, and then low 1 billion, all right, which is what we hit back there. So we hit a 1 billion mark, lower liquidity there. We just came down to it. Was it that section there? Let's have a look. Oh, maybe it wasn't. Oh, we already flushed it, didn't we? Sorry. So we came down to, yeah, about 1 billion. It's 1.3 there. So 1 billion to the downside on the perps liquidity, over 2 billion. Now, if we get a bit of a retail flood, which I'm unaware of we've had right now, you'd have to probably go and check some Google metrics on the crypto search engines or something, then these parameters may change again. Maybe the top side goes to like 3 billion or something, okay? Just something to bear in mind. At the minute, yeah, rising to be expected on a move, but a little bit middling, okay? Open interest, yeah, open interest getting hot, but as you know, if you're trending like this, okay, so just a 4 hour chart, if you're trending, you know, you can stay up here for a while. You can stay up here for a while. No problem at all, sir. Right, let's go and have a look at some other shizzle, shall we? What's Bitcoin doing at the minute? Moving up. Thank you very much, US guys. Woken up, had the breakfast, decided to hit the green button. Thank you, sirs. I got front run as well, was rooting for a scam dump into pump like the old FTX days. Yeah, I can tell by your profile picture. Yeah, if I don't miss them, to be honest. I really don't miss those guys. I think it's you know, it's a better market now. It's a better market now, isn't it? We'll say no more. Fib time, do you mean trend based fib time? Did I have some trend based fib time open there? Yeah, if that's what you meant, trend based fib time, I do like it. Yeah, I like it on a weekly, daily, and 4 hour actually. I do like a trend based fib time. Although I'm no expert. I've just hit a few good ones over the years. I'm no expert. I know there's some guys out there that really, really good with that kind of stuff at predicting. Do we call it predicting? I guess you do call it predicting, don't you? Voodoo crystal ball stuff, isn't it? Classic tier. No, it's not. I do like it. Don't anyone turn off because I said that. Yeah, I love it all. I do love it all. Yeah, I like fib time on weekly, daily, and 4 hour. But then I don't know. You know, you kind of need to see that forecasting. Yeah, exactly. Cool. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's nice to see it. And over the years, especially. Obviously, the weekly takes a lot of time, so you have to be very patient. But on the daily and the 4 hour, you might see it when I post my charts now and again. We've really hit some interesting levels, and I'm conscious that you know, a daily, say, especially you get a daily fib time and a 4 hour fib time, and then you start looking at the order flow in the console and seeing, for instance, all right, okay, I'm at range lows. I've got a fib time here, and the order flow is quite bullish, and the volume's coming up. I've got bull divs. Then great, you know, really, I love all confluence like that. When the crystal ball actually does its business, yeah, it's great, really good. Right, what else do we need to look at? Something I just did want to highlight, and don't turn off the live stream, is ETH. All right. ETH has been well bid. I'm not a fan of ETH either. I don't particularly use it in real world, and I don't particularly trade it either, to be honest. But it has been well bid. It has been well bid. And then something I just wanted to point out, and I haven't looked at in recent hours, was actually as we were moving up, interestingly enough, we were hitting some interesting BTC Oh, it's still dropping. Yeah. Balls to that then. Right, let's move to Solana. No, I'm only joking. I'm only joking. It was just interesting to see this. Maybe these guys are trying to fill and it drops a little bit, but yeah, it looks shocking on the ETH BTC. It was interesting to see this bid coming in on ETH BTC. It's not achieving too much. It's not achieving too much, is it? Balls to that then. Right, let's go to Solana. Better coin. No, I don't know. All right, okay. I just want to show you guys that because it's interesting. I've not seen that a while. Oh, nice one. Go on, Solana. Right, so Sol has been well bid in these lows. It's just this line here is the old trend line. I won't go and show you guys that again. We'll move on to some more interesting stuff. But yeah, Sol is still trending, higher time frame and lower time frame, and it is strong. If you are trading perps and you're interested in ETH, I would almost say, don't chase this right now because it's had a hell of a move. But I would almost say if you're just trading perps just to catch a little bit more percentage on your derivatives, you maybe want to just have a look at Sol because it's moving a lot better, all right? Smashing its supply. And as you see, levels ready to attack, nice aggregated depth, and the offers, you see the offers moving up. So not massive order blocks on Sol, but bid moving up, offers moving up. Just, exactly what you want to see, all right? Right, let's go and have a look at some other alts. Drop us some in the chat if you want to go and have a look at the order flow or if you've seen any. I do have to say, I have to confess, I normally go through my full watch list. I haven't today because I've been a little bit busy. Interested to see what Rune's doing. Yeah, Rune is a beast. Absolute beast at the minute. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, this is just exactly what you want to see. Rune was kind of getting spot bid all the way down, so interesting enough, the chart is more often than not very good. But it was, again, if you're new to the stream, what you've got to appreciate, and if you're looking at this, is yes, it's very spot bid, but spot guys and girls bidding, they might be happy to see a 2-3% down move and hold it, but what you notice is obviously the bounce was really, really good. At the same time, Bitcoin was making its move. Entity there with a cheeky order block trying to get a fill. They didn't get filled, and it looks like, I don't know, it's probably not the same entity, but then they've had to chase up, and it's looking really, really good. And I think that white line there that it's just come back and smashed and back tested is the value area highs of its higher time frame range. So really, really, really nice from Rune. Right, let's go and have a look at FTM. Have I even got it in my watch list? I have. Right. What? Yeah, I did like this one. This was, FTM was moving really, really well. When Solana and some of the other assets were making their move, wasn't it? Wow, it's getting chased up. Who is chasing it up? Oh, it could be a bit of OKX skewing that data there. Kind of getting some big bid depth, and that could be OKX. Yeah, OKX really want a piece of this. So you might want to check what kind of volume OKX do on this asset. It's sometimes the case that on lower, I haven't looked at the volumes on FTM, but on these lower liquidity assets, Binance is normally king, obviously, isn't it? Binance, Bybit, big players, but you never know. OKX might be a significant player in this particular market, so it might be worth looking at that. And yeah, perps chasing it up. If you're long from down here, I think you're pretty safe. Just don't chase any of this. If you're looking to get, someone drop us a chart if you've seen any longs today. I would never chase green candles, so I've not seen any longs today, and I'm not keen for a short just yet. It's, for me, days like this would be concentrated on just watching the order flow, making sure we don't get totally scammed out of any trade you're in, managing risks, and maybe you just want to tighten up that stop a little bit or move your stop. Maybe you want to take a little bit of profit off, and then these kind of days for me personally are a little bit about planning. Okay, so where do I think price is possibly going, and are we getting there easily? Okay, so are we moving there easily, or is price struggling? Are we putting in higher highs over the next 24 hours and then forming bear divs? Right, okay, maybe need to think about taking a bit more profit. okay, we're just coming back down to range. Look, you know, all that kind of thing. It's planning now. When you're in these kind of trades, especially where, you know, you're long from here, very comfy, great, okay. I need to plan now. I've not particularly seen, I will go and look at my alerts, a long I would take today. You sniper scalpers would probably say different. You might just be in it for a good few percent. LDR's doing not very well, is it? Oh dear, LDR. Wow, it's a shocking chart. It's really struggling, isn't it? What else have I got? ARBs are FET. Perhaps a bit in FET, actually. This stuff like this could be a nice one. FET could be a nice one. This is obviously a very messy chart, but it looks like perps are very determined here. So your nearest perps order block at 2.2. Not much to say on spot, but you know, on these assets that are moving quite well now, you almost want them to start putting in these higher lows, don't you? You know, keep it very, very simple, don't you? So yeah, FET, whiff. I've just got an alt diamond on whiff. If you're a whiff enjoyer, is the hat staying on? Nice order books on whiff. I know we've covered this before, but especially top levels on whiff. Okay. So just appreciate what the rest of the market is doing, and don't degenerate long. You know, I was going to say low liquidity. It's probably not a low liquidity asset anymore, whiff, is it? But the top levels on whiff are really, really good. I would say more for the long side, because it's obviously trying to push up. You get nice top levels for the upper side, but they tend to be a little bit far away. Whereas these longs, even if you just, you know, I'm not sure what exchanges have got derivatives on whiff yet. I know a lot of the big central exchanges have got it on spot. But fucking hell, I don't think you even need, unless you're looking at hedging, doing a true hedge position on something like this. It moves so well you don't even need leverage. You literally don't need leverage on this shit here when it's moving like 30% in hours, 15% in a day. Jesus. But yeah, whiff is getting a bid mainly from perps. Have we got a good volume on it now? Volume's not bad actually, and it's quite low open interest here as well. So whiff might be looking good. I'm not gonna say anything more than that. But yeah, we'll see. Mr. BTC Indicator, Nick, can you explain the liquidity check alert? Yeah, no problem. We actually hit the top side of it yesterday as well. 2 seconds. Have I got it on here? We did get a print on it yesterday, and I have to say, I'm not sure why. Oops, let me go to Bitcoin for a kickoff. Let me go to Bitcoin perps. I don't know if it printed on mine. It maybe did. Yeah, I'm sure we hit it up here somewhere, and I'm not sure. Let me go and load it again. Where am I looking? Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not loading. On perps, that should be okay. It's loaded on spot though. Why is it loaded on spot? There you go. Okay, so basically, yeah, so for now, again, it's not an entry. It's not an entry signal. Okay, it's just basically saying, and we'll go through it quickly. I don't mind doing that at all. It's basically saying, I might have to go through the settings first, actually. So the red one, we call that, it's on the short side, okay? So it's saying, I have to have that on the short side. It doesn't mean short the market, but what it's actually telling you is there's a lot of contracts coming in the book, okay? As you can see here, it's telling you that there's been a move up in liquidity in the perps order books, and I do have spot on there as well, but it's very rare that spot will hit a similar time. It takes quite a lot to fill the spot order books or nuke. Well, it doesn't take a lot to nuke the spot order books actually, but you can imagine spot fills a little bit slower. Okay, so you see this rise in liquidity here, okay, on the blue indicator. So this is perps, and then we basically get an alert saying liquidity check, okay? Now, again, that would be very, very, very nice if it was at range highs, you were in supply, you had a lot of froth in the market, you had positive funding and the like, and then you would say, right, okay, market's getting super frothy, we're at range highs, let's have a look at the order flow and see what's going on. Basically, yeah, I think it was an indication of a lot of people chasing up. It could actually be a nice area, you know, that 65k zone if we wanted to have a little wick down. And we can go and check the OBC. It might be a nice area to look for. 65, did I say? No, there's nothing there. Yeah, I think order blocks are going to have to go and chase. But yeah, okay, so let's just go quickly check the settings for you. Okay, I can't remember the last time I had one on the down move, but then basically what you get is you'll get them on flushes like this. And it's telling you that the order books are getting flushed a certain percentage in a certain amount of time. Okay, so they got flushed there, but then obviously we continued down. We got a flush there. Okay, so we moved, the order books moved down here. Okay, so we got a big flush in liquidity. So basically a lot of contracts wiped out the order books. Okay, but what you can tell from that one was it was a short squeeze. Okay, so basically order books nuked and we squeezed even higher. Okay, and that was from that initial, this area here was our last real good risk on that 56, 57k zone. If I just go and show you this. Yeah, but yeah, it can be continuation. You kind of almost don't want to see it. Basically you almost want to see this one as you move up, really. Because it's then easier to float price up on low volume. It's not going to take much volume to carry on pushing price up when a load of contracts are being wiped out the books. Okay, interestingly, you kind of don't want to see that one when you're floating up. If you want major continuation, which we got some continuation, but it's basically saying market's getting a bit hot. Market's getting a bit hot up here, basically. There's a lot of contracts in the book. Yeah, keep an eye on things, basically. If we just go and quickly check the settings, though. Okay. So, yeah, just perpetuals, basically. I do have spot on as well, but it takes a lot. It's a lot slower to load up, okay? But basically, it's perpetuals, because obviously perpetuals, guys, tend to get a little bit more frothy, don't they? A little bit quicker. Okay, so spot perpetuals, 0 to 10% order book. I kind of tend to just concentrate on that area, not 25% away. And then basically perpetuals total moving down percent by 30%. So quite a chunk in the order books, you know, by 30%. And then I'll get that little green long signal. And obviously when I say long, I don't mean go long, like we look at on a BTC Diamond or a group spot alert, but it's basically just giving you a little green signal. Perps has moved down, and then I have spot on a 20% because I think unless you were getting one of these mega nukes, spot, it'd be rare to see spot do a 30% move down in the order books. Okay, and then yeah, just similarly on the upside as well. So yesterday when we got that little signal on perpetuals, or spot, I can't remember which one. It's probably spot then, wasn't it? If we moved up, you're basically saying that the order book has filled up 30% or 20%. That's it, basically. But yeah, it's nicer. It's nicer to see this one when you're at some real highs. Basically, I can't remember the last time we got that. And then likewise the green one when you're in the lows. Really nice to see it. Just like on the higher time frame, 4 hour. You know, when you're looking at the 4 hour. Or daily chart, you want to see that low kind of, we call it liquidity, that kind of like low, sustained low liquidity in the order books, open interest low, you know, funding's low. You're kind of building this recipe. All right, okay, so not many contracts in the books, but we seem to be in a demand zone. Maybe I should have a look at this, you know. And then similarly on the 4 hour to the top side as well, you know. All right, okay, so perps, you know, it's all quite high. Spot's high, thing is high, open interest is high. Okay, maybe I want to have a look at the order books and look at the order flow and you know, maybe take a bit of risk off and the like. So I don't want to go on about it too long. I hope that kind of makes a little bit of sense. Are we going back to whiff, or are we moving on? Yeah, I hope that makes some sense. And again, most of the alerts, don't be an alert trader. The alerts are saying, go and have a look at the charts. You might want to take some action. Do you want to, basically go and have a look at the charts. Do you want to take some action? Maybe you want to execute and put some risk on, or maybe you want to risk off. Just watch what's going on. That's how you should treat the alerts, And we all know the BTC diamonds are the absolute king. Really, almost, well, very high percentage fire and forget kind of trades. But even the BTC diamonds, it's, right, okay, let's go and have a look. What's going on? Have I got bull divs? Is there low open interest? Am I in negative funding and I'm getting a BTC diamond? Wow, this is great, right, okay, I want to put a bit of risk on. So yeah, maybe I think it wouldn't surprise me to chop this zone up a little bit, There's certainly no one aggressively coming in and bid it. The order flow is moving up to meet price, but no one's got too aggressive yet, have they? No, so we'll see what we get. Right, back to the altcoins, if that made sense to you, Mr. BTC Indicator. Have you got an indicator to share for us, sir? A king indicator for us. What else do we need to look at? Some alts are not performing very well, are they? We just looked at LDO. Interesting to see. I think alts still may lag a bit. I don't think you're going to get much mileage out of some of the L1s and stuff. I'm just going to look at LTC. I'm not calling it a particular L1 or anything, but you see the way the order books are empty. Okay, so everyone's looking at BTC, everyone's looking at SOL and some of the newer, shinier coins. Matic, yeah, not very good, not very good. Okay, let's go and have a look at, I'm just going to have a look at Linky Link for the Link Marines. It was very, very bid in these low $13 to $12 marks. Very, very bid. Did we look at this one last week? Absolute monster bid on spot, 13 level on Link. Really nice to see. I think we did look at it, didn't we? So I won't dwell on it too much. And yeah, an okay move up. An okay move up, probably 4 or 5% as Bitcoin was doing 7. So, okay, yeah, not too much. RNDR, what's that doing? Wow, God, that's a bit of a turn, hasn't it? Room still in the green. What's SHIB doing? Not too much. Is Sol taking a turn or is it holding? Sol's holding well, thank you, Sol. Tia, I want to have a look at Tia. One of the guys pointed this out the other day. Really, really well bid. Look at that, smack down onto its top level. Filled. It's not a massive top level on this altcoin here. I won't be able to see 4-day 8.5. 8.5, is it that one? No, it was down a bit lower. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, I think this entity filled here. One of the guys in Discord pointed, I'm sure it was Tia, pointed this out. And all I could say was, yeah, it looks very nice. And coins like this, even if you just day trade in this, they do tend to bounce. Very, very nice. Right, what else do we need to look at? Is WIF coming back down to its bid? Are perps holding it? Perps are getting really tested here on WIF, aren't they? Let it come down and fill a little bit. Let's see what it does. Was it Ali? Yeah, AVAX was looking really good. I did, yeah, I think I said, didn't I? I said, yeah, well, AVAX and what was the other one I mentioned? Was it? Yeah, look at AVAX here, really well bid. So, you know, ideally in these sort of situations, they're really, really well bid. And so, of course, the perfect trade would be to come down, the perfect risk reward would be to come down to these lower order blocks and start filling these guys, you know, really smash these bids here in the yellow and green, which is basically what these are. These are bid ratio overlays. Really come down and smash these bids. Okay. but then it's best to either fill the lower order blocks or let those order blocks defend price and then float price up, okay? But what you've got to appreciate on some of these assets is, if Bitcoin's going to take a turn, then these alts are going to take advantage as well, aren't they? The only way they're going to go down there is a really, really scammy wick. Really just scammy wick down there, so they look really nice. I think it was Phil we looked at as well then. Yeah, what a beaut. What an absolute beaut. Look at that. So again, I mean, same as AVAX. I don't have this on my alerts. I'm not sure if it was striking any alerts there as well. Yeah, it would have been all day long. Again, you kind of want it to come and fill this entity down here at this lower order block at $5, but that might be a bit hopium, you know, when the market's starting to turn and you've got massive depth of bid, and you know, the bigger boy girl and boy assets are starting to move, then you've got to take a chance on these sort of things. You've got to, you know, you've just got to get in. You've just got to get in and execute as best you can, you know. What else? Yeah, I'm a bit bored of these assets like Polkadot and the like. I might have to have a look at my altcoin alerts and rotate a little bit, I would say. They're still getting some good order box. I don't know who the hell is bidding Cardano nowadays. You know, I don't know who's bidding that, but anyway, yeah, I might have to have a look at my my altcoin alerts and have a little bit of a rotation. I might have to go and have a look at what new shinier coins DK and the lads at TRDR have put in the system, because if you're just going to be day trading these sort of things, you want to trade the newer stuff, that's going to move more percentages. You know, when your XRPs and your let's go and have a look at XRP. Your XRP and your Cardanos are doing 2%, and stuff like WIF is giving you 15% in a day. What do you want to do? You know, madness. Right, let's have a look at XRP. What's XRP doing? Not a lot. I'm going to have to refresh that. XRP, am I on Ripple's nipples? Absolutely dead. Interesting though, because it was really bid on the BTC. Oh, it still is, but it's just not moved. Yeah, and it was funny actually, because I think I said that, didn't I? I said, like, it's really bid on the XRP BTC is really bid, and it's not moved in, God, a week or so. Look at this. Look at this. What is this? Is this a pump for ants? But the XRP army will have been real happy with that. You would be though, wouldn't you? 3% when you've been holding an asset for over 10 years. You would be happy with that, wouldn't you? SAY seems protected to the downside. Let's have a look at SAY with Ali. SAY was brilliant again. Yeah, and a similar thing, you know, You know, I won't repeat, but yeah, it'd be nice to fill those order blocks. And these entities are, you know, either expecting it a bit lower or whatever. But yeah, what a move. God, this one moves well, doesn't it then? Let's have a look at perps. Yeah, the only thing, okay, so when you've had, one thing to say is, and WIF is a good example, is, and actually, it's some alts are holding better than WIF actually. It looks like it's going to go and fill some orders, doesn't it? So that's probably not a good example. What about tier? What's tier doing? Yeah, okay, so this, I'm probably going to struggle to find a good example. All I was going to say is, when Spot have, say, filled their orders back here, so this is now your risk, okay? Whether you like to trail stops, or whether, a little bit like myself, I like to tell myself, I've bought demand, you need to prove me wrong. Okay, so I tend not to tighten stops up too much, you know, unless it's absolutely flying. Then I'll tighten that risk a little bit more. But when you've got risk on from here, what you'll tend to find is on days like this is, so the assets moved, yeah, the assets moved really violently, and then what you'll tend to see is perps, guys and girls who have really missed out, they'll start to get aggressive on these down moves, these like little down moves, and more often than not, they'll just get used as liquidity. Let me see what STX was doing. Check the perps on STX. No edge. I was trying to find a perps order book that looks really, really good. I'm probably going to struggle to find one. That's a crap one. But yeah, more often than not, people in the derivatives and perps, they've missed yesterday's move. Yeah, this is all I'm trying to say. They've missed yesterday's move, and they're trying to get in. They're getting firmer. They're trying to get in for a little bit of continuation, and so the perps order books can tend to get a little bit fruity, and a little bit too aggressive, a little bit early after yesterday's move. So these, if you're looking for a bid today, I would look to something like Spot, naming no names, but I would look to Spot. Someone's not been filled; they maybe want to fill, and that's maybe going to give you a little bit of opportunity. Let's have a look. What's Peps doing then? Yeah, it is. I mean, I've got to admit, Ali, yeah, it's holding really well. If you look at some of those other coins coming down, what's the BTC book like? And it's trending up against BTC, so it probably looks better than most. I mean, just forgetting the overlay, there's not much edge right here, but it's trending up against BTC. You can't ask for much more. So yeah, it's holding well. Smash that order block there. Out of interest then, let's go and have a look at where this chart is. That's a nice pattern. It's quite a nice pattern, isn't it? Let's have a look at this. If there's any others you want to have a look at quickly, we can go and have a look at as well. Don't know how relevant that is. Yeah, okay, that's maybe not so relevant, that larger time frame one. But let's have a look at this, because this has had a big move up, and then you would probably, a lot of guys, if you're in Spot from back here, you need to kind of chill, don't you? Because this is, again, the structure almost looks like it's trying to break its downtrend. Uptrend from back here, which it is to a certain extent. It's had all that violence from the drop the other week. But I personally think it looks all right. Yeah, I just do. I don't know. You're gonna get these sort of things. Some you guys will probably laugh at my classic tier here, but I don't know. Something like, fuck knows. I don't know what I'm doing. Something like that, you know. Draw some. Let's get some horizontals on. This is kind of shit I do. I mean, I think it'll do well, this one. It's a good asset, isn't it? So that's your value area low. That's your value area high. So it might battle around here a little bit, but it's trying. You know, it's trying. You could consider these your trend as well, but it's going to try and break this trend line, isn't it? And it's already wicked and coming back down. Let's hold those levels there before we move on in a second. And then I'm going to keep these levels on. Yeah, it's a bit wicky, isn't it? Yeah, it's got a lot of work to do, but I think it just needs to start flipping some of these levels, right? Then go to a 1 hour. And yeah, you can see where it is. So, I mean, yeah, very dubious trend line, and considering I'm on the H&A candles that I know you guys love, it's probably not right. But yeah, I think it'll hold and grind this area out. Yeah, could be quite nice. Could be quite nice. I've seen a lot of other assets looking like this as well. I'm not a trendline trader, you guys probably know that, but they just look like they're kind of breaking, back testing. They've got a bit of work to do, and then they can yeah, I think so as well. And like you say, it's holding really well. I mean, this is obviously a 4 hour chart, and it's been ramping up since the yeah, God, this is a hell of a move, isn't it? Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's moving like a DEX shitcoin that's 2 hours old. Yeah, it's a good chart, to be honest. Well pointed out. Yeah, it's a good chart. I mean, don't chase, if no one's in this now, don't chase it. Let it confirm this zone. If Bitcoin wants to have a little bit of a run, then it's going to do okay, isn't it? But yeah, certainly, 15-minute trend line. It's going to, yeah, not bad. Let it confirm this zone. Let it confirm, and should do okay. Should do okay. You obviously certainly always want to be in from the lows, don't you? Right. Anything else, TRDR console wise or not, that we need to look at that I think I need to cover today? Are there any features that anyone's struggling with, unfamiliar with? Any alerts anyone's struggling with? We can have a quick look at that if you want. Or any other features or any other alts that you need to look at, we need to look at today. If we do hit some real violence tomorrow, upwards violence, thank you crypto gods, then we'll do a Discord live tomorrow, just to have a little catch up in there as well. In the order book depth console, do you flip ratio and total to see what the volume is on what exchange? Yeah, it's kind of, if I get what you're saying, it's kind of why I got this profile here. In the order book depth, do you flip ratio and total to see? Sorry, between ratio and total. No, I don't, to be honest. Maybe I could add something, or please share it in the socials if you've got one that, set up like that. I don't, to be honest. And I don't tend to in here either, more often. Yeah, totals, obviously, it's just a little bit of a different look. I'm just so used to, I maybe should a little bit more. I maybe should a little bit more. Yeah, sorry, in the OBD widget, yeah. I maybe should a little bit more just to get familiar with what kind of total volume and everything is going on in there. Reason I don't have it on all the time is I'm so familiar. I've got 3 screens, and the one that we're on here, I'll share it in the socials one day. I shared it with DK a while ago. This screen here that you guys are looking at is kind of off to my left, and then I've got a screen right in front of me. And this one off to my left, when I'm looking at it, this widget right here is right in my eye line. And what I tend to do is, I tend to have this on, yeah? I tend to have this on all day. Then I'll have another screen with, say, maybe Volume King on, and then a couple of other charts. But this multi-chart layout is literally on all day long. I want to watch WIF, actually, while I'm here. I just want to see it. I'm not in WIF. I don't really particularly trade it or anything day to day, but I just want to see what it's doing. I want to see if it takes this liquidity and rotates back up. But yeah, basically, I have this on all day long on the screen, just to my left. And what I find is, even if, and then what I'll do is on my other screen, if things are getting a little bit juicy, I'll then jump into a full screen and look at what the other exchanges are doing and the like. But I just like to have all those on to see what's happening. And this widget here is right in my eye line. So sometimes, say, obviously, you guys know if you click on Bitcoin, that's the widget you're going to get. If you click on WIF, that's the widget you're going to get. And in here, it's just so easy for me to click these, obviously. But what I'm trying to say is, as I'm looking at this, even if I'm not looking at the actual chart on overlays, I kind of know I'm on BTC, USDT, or USD, whatever. And I've said this before to one of the guys in the chat. I'm like, my eyeballs are on these ratios all day long. Like, I'm not joking. all day long. So obviously, like now, a little bit of local selling from spot. I can see that. Not too relevant, but Gemini, a little bit of local selling. Okay, so then I might go and look at them, and that's the kind of way I do things. I look at this all day long. BTC mainly, and then my other screens I'll check other stuff. Obviously, I have Volume King open, because you don't see it really regularly, but obviously you might see a massive volume drop off, while price is moving up. So bigger players are just trying to exit the market. So I like to see volume open all the time with the Volume King template. And then, yeah, maybe if price is absolutely flying up, and you know, you've got a lot of contracts entering the market and I get a liquidity alert, I might want to go and check that. I might, oh, crikey, okay, what are we at? You know, what are we looking at? And then I'll jump into it. But yeah. Did they? on the Exo desktop. It's good, that desktop, isn't it? Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's a nice platform. Yeah, improved well. It's improved very, very much over the years. Yeah, good platform. Right then, guys. Would you say 10 to 100k are exiting? Let's go and have a look. Let's go and have a look. Yeah, I mean, I would expect some profit taking from perps for sure here. I think. What did you say? 10 to 100k. Right. The only thing about that one, which is the thin blue line, is I could, in all honesty, take that off and not pay much attention to it. Yeah, you've probably got some profit taking going on. You know, you've probably got some profit taking ongoing. 100k up. Yeah, I mean, in this, what the thing is here, again, just talk about time zone slightly. What you've got to appreciate is, I'm over in Europe, so we had the Asian session there. I'm sure the Asian quants did very well from entries back here, so they probably didn't do much volume up here after a violent move. So things tend to drift off a little bit, you know? Things tend to drift off a little bit. Then in the European session, we don't often sling enough volume in to move the market anyway. So more often than not always the case. You do sometimes get a volume kick, but we don't do much volume as well. So this is kind of like this zone here, you know. So now I would always be watching this session, the US session, to see what we get, because yeah, volume's dropped, but I wouldn't say it's ultra bearish at the minute. You know, to get bearish, I'd want the classic bear div, to be honest. Very easy. I want price up here at 70k, and I want volume coming off, nice and easy. Yeah, I think this is a little bit to be expected. And then, you know, obviously again, appreciate I've got a little bit of a slow look back on here. If we went to, let's see what say 30's doing. Oh, that's the wrong one, isn't it? 100k. Let's have a look. It's not going to do it, is it? I don't know why it does that. Let me just refresh that quick. Let me go to 100k. Yeah, kind of flat, isn't it? If you look at it now, you know, if you want a very, very reactive, yeah, I mean, but that it's come off and it's almost coming back in, isn't it? You could say. If I then did that to our, I don't know why it does that. You know what I mean, though, don't you? I would watch this US session. I think that there is to be expected. Just to highlight, yeah, I do have a slightly slow look back. I'm just used to it, and it does seem to work okay for me, especially in confluence with other stuff like open interest as well. I know that a lower look back is nice and reactive, better for day trading, but I'm a little bit more chilled with it. I do like a slightly slower look back. But yeah, yeah, 1 hour volume is obviously heated. Open interest is quite hot. Obviously, you'll be able to see that on various charts. Funding, let's go see what funding's doing on here then. Funding is still negative on Bybit. All right, so negative on Bybit, very low on Binance. And that's on a daily and a current. Okay, so yeah, not too bad. I mean, what we haven't done is, before we close out, drop any questions if you've got them. What we haven't done actually is go and look at order blocks above. We haven't done that, have we? So let's go and have a look at order blocks above. Okay, so I think Ali mentioned it earlier. 67.7, did you say, Ali? That's your biggest order block at the minute. That would be very nice. It's a little bit of a distance away, isn't it? You'd have to go and take that monthly NPOC, but I could see that today. I could see that today, or in the coming hours. And then what I would be looking for is the wick space just above it. So yeah, did you say 67.8? I think you did, didn't you? You're well ahead of me. Yeah, 67.7 to 67.8. I think that'd be. I think that could be quite nice if we can get that in the coming hours. Certainly your biggest order block at the minute. That's all I'd be looking at. Downside is going to be full of smaller order blocks. Not a lot to say there, to be honest, really, at the minute. So yeah, from a PA perspective, it would be a hammer in a nice structure change that will get BTC a lot of bullish attention. 67.8, yeah, exactly. Yeah, too right. I think the daily chart's looking really good as well, to be honest. If we just go back to that, so that's our. Let's just finish up on this then. Let's have a nice clean chart. Let's just forget this and this. Let's finish up on a very nice clean chart. So here we go. Okay, so weekly looks unbelievable, obviously. We all know that. You are resting and chewing up all-time highs. If you can see price action just here, I think it looks really, really good. We've obviously wicked down into these previous highs here. I think you could have gone a lot lower, but this wick here, you maybe can't see it because it's in grey. I'm a bit OCD like that. But this wick here was at our weekly 21. Okay, if we then just drop to a daily time frame, you know, you were pulling down here and you were flirting with breaking structure and creating a bit of a break and then maybe coming in and putting a lower low. Like this, I call this deviation really, but you didn't do it. Okay, so daily structure still looks good. And you know, you can see after this extended move how people kind of get a little bit bearish on sentiment and stuff, but you've just had the halving, you've just got ETF flows coming in. You know, I think we look good. So daily looked good, deviation. We then flick to a 4 hour. You pull a range like I've been shilling forever, and you take, as a range trader, you take a chance at the lows. You take a chance at the lows. You take a chance at the lows. But actually, when we hit this point here, if anyone saw the short video I put out and then obviously tweeted it again, you go on my Twitter feed, reposted it just in case anyone didn't see it because we're in the TRDR order flow. You take a chance at the lows. But what we're saying was, yeah, 60k would be in here many times. I don't even like 58k. It's going to be a deviation. 57, 56 looks good. As a range trader, you take a chance at the lows. Then as you smash back up, wasn't expecting that V shape, you come back down. And then what we're saying was, right, guys, look, we need to confirm this area is a higher low now from this point, because obviously you were trending down on the 4 hour. You know, bears were looking in control. They were selling into these lower highs. They were selling into the lower highs. We need to start confirming this, and we need to get a bit of violence and a shift up in price action. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I still think it could take a little bit of time. I'm not expecting mega, you know, 80Ks. I'm not going to say that because I don't know what's coming next. But you certainly need to start flipping some of this zone. So your area that you mentioned, that 67.8, is certainly going to take you above these old highs, which is going to be really nice in case anyone's still holding short positions from there. That's going to look nice, isn't it? I would be a little bit worried, to be honest. Let me just zoom into this a little bit, okay? So yeah, these guys want to be worried, obviously, don't they, if they haven't closed already. Your 67.8 that you're mentioning is going to take those guys out, and then you maybe just want to confirm this area before any move up. And that's what I was saying at the beginning of the week. You want to confirm this, then you just want to, and I'm still going to call this a range because we haven't, you know, we haven't started a new 4 hour trend yet, have we? You know, we haven't started doing any of this kind of business around here, but you want to start confirming some of these zones now. You know, you want to get that level that Ali mentions. You want to start confirming some of these levels. Maybe it takes a bit of this, you know, maybe you get some massive positive funding in there. Open interest gets ridiculous. Liquidity gets ridiculous up here. we maybe hedge some short positions. You come back, maybe it's as easy as that. Maybe you hedge some short positions, you come back down, and then you get the bounce from there to 250k in one clip. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Right, guys, call it a day. I hope that's helped everyone. If you're feeling it is helping people, just doing these little sessions, and you know, if you're new to the console, please grab a link below. You get a free trial in there. The socials are great. Everyone's mega helpful. Okay, so drop in the Telegram and the Discord socials. We do little pop-up screen shares in there as well. If you missed it, DK, the main man from TRDR, was on this week. Really ultra valuable input. I learned everything I know from here from DK and those guys. So yeah, get involved, because I feel more people should know about this data that we have. Basically, I don't think you get alpha decay because people still over leverage, and people still short bottoms when they feel even though they've got the data in front of them, you know. So yeah, share the video and get everyone involved in the console, to be honest. And I'm trying to say that not as a shill, but yeah, it's just, I think more people should have data like this, because there's a lot of people out there. When we were back here, I'm not going to name any names, there were some massive names in the market who were basically saying, that's it, we're selling all our Bitcoin right at the point when you should have been bidding. All right, guys, so that's all I'll say. Not a shill, so to speak. I hope everyone has a great week. If we do a live pop-up tomorrow in the Discord, I'll drop a link. If the price action's boring, we won't do it unless anyone needs it. But yeah, hope everyone has a great week. Share the video, and I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers, guys.